Have you ever wondered what truly makes a romantic bond unforgettable? Is it just physical attraction, or is there something much deeper that unites two souls in a way that feels unbreakable? While attraction plays a role, the real magic comes from understanding each other's emotional needs and unspoken desires. Today, we're revealing the key to a stronger, more intimate connection by exploring 5 meaningful ways to enhance pleasure and deepen emotional closeness like never before. We cultivate resilience, inner power, and an unshakable mindset. We don't just face obstacles, we rise above them. In every area of life, we push beyond limits and embrace growth. But have you ever considered applying that same mindset of strength and dedication to your most intimate moments? Imagine bringing that level of commitment into your relationships, where both partners feel truly valued, fulfilled, and deeply connected. Let's start with a thought-provoking question. How can you create an experience that brings both you and your partner to new levels of closeness and fulfillment? One of the most comforting and emotionally bonding ways to connect is through closeness while resting side by side. This position encourages full body contact, creating a sense of security and warmth. The close embrace allows for deeper emotional and physical synchronization, fostering a connection that goes beyond just the moment itself. This deep level of connection can elevate the relationship, bringing both partners closer in ways that strengthen intimacy on every level. Now let's explore 5 intimate positions that couples around the world cherish, not just for the physical connection, but for the deep emotional bond they help create. True intimacy isn't just about the moment itself. It's about strengthening the connection between two people on a profound level. Where there is no room for weakness, true resilience is built. Willpower, passion, and determination drive us to reach new heights, not just in life, but in our relationships as well. The same mindset applies to deep connection, where real fulfillment comes from both partners embracing the experience with confidence and enthusiasm. Here's something interesting. Body proportions often follow unique patterns. Some women with fuller lower bodies tend to have more petite upper bodies, while those with a larger bust may have a more compact lower frame. And in an intriguing statistical trend, some studies suggest that red-haired individuals may experience more frequent intimate moments than others. Fascinating, isn't it? When it comes to enhancing emotional and physical closeness, a relaxed and connected position remains one of the most effective ways to heighten pleasure. This approach encourages deep stimulation while maintaining full body contact, creating a sense of warmth, security, and shared enjoyment. Even more, this position allows for dual stimulation, enhancing pleasure in ways that bring both partners closer, physically, emotionally, and beyond. Doggy style. Why this position is a favorite. Have you ever wondered why some positions are more popular than others? According to a recent study, one particular approach, where one partner leans forward while the other engages from behind, ranks as a top choice among individuals aged 35 to 44 in English-speaking regions. One reason for its popularity is the level of adaptability it offers. The receiving partner can adjust movements to find the most comfortable and enjoyable angle, making the experience more fulfilling. Additionally, research suggests that nearly 80% of individuals enjoy verbal interaction during intimate moments, whether playful or passionate, as it enhances excitement and strengthens emotional connection. Here's an interesting fact. Some people are naturally born with a smaller internal structure, and in rare cases, a medical condition can result in the absence of a particular canal, affecting approximately 1 in every 5,000 individuals worldwide. Meanwhile, body positioning plays a role in endurance as well. For instance, standing engagement may naturally help extend the experience while enhancing stimulation. Did you know that with the right techniques, some individuals can reach peak pleasure in as little as 4 minutes? However, during physical intimacy, it often takes longer, sometimes 20 minutes or more, depending on factors like stimulation, rhythm, and connection. On another note, there's an ongoing discussion about whether certain behaviors correlate with loyalty in relationships. Some theories suggest that frequent engagement in specific activities may indicate a tendency toward infidelity, though this remains a topic of debate among psychologists rather than a proven fact. Stay connected and support the channel. Before we explore more transformative ways to enhance connection, I want to take a moment to connect with you. If you're finding value in this content and want to strengthen your intimate relationships, take a second to like this video. Your support helps bring more insightful content your way. I'd also love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below with any insights or questions you have about deepening intimacy in relationships. Let's create a community where we can learn, share, and grow together. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. By doing so, you'll stay updated with our latest content, helping you build inner strength and cultivate deeper connections in every area of your life. Thank you for being part of this journey. Did you know that understanding your partner's most sensitive areas can completely transform your connection? One of the biggest advantages of knowing what excites your partner is the ability to explore different types of stimulation, leading to a more enjoyable and satisfying experience. Every individual has unique preferences, and what works for one may not work for another. By paying attention to your partner's responses and discovering what truly brings joy and satisfaction, you can significantly enhance your bond. Taking the time to learn these details doesn't just make intimacy more fulfilling, it also strengthens the emotional connection between both partners. Open communication about likes and dislikes fosters trust and leads to a stronger, more harmonious relationship. When you show your partner that her enjoyment and comfort are just as important as your own, she feels truly valued and appreciated, which naturally enhances attraction and deepens the connection. If you're interested in learning more about key pleasure points, I've uploaded a complete video that breaks it all down, so be sure to check that out after this one. Fascinating insights. Interestingly, many men experience heightened morning energy levels due to natural fluctuations in hormones. Meanwhile, studies show that beyond traditional methods, certain items, such as aromatherapy candles, are becoming increasingly popular for creating a relaxing and intimate atmosphere. Another intriguing fact, for many individuals under 25, one of the most common fantasies involves sensory exploration and new experiences. By being open to understanding what excites your partner and prioritizing her happiness, you're not only strengthening your relationship, but also creating a deeper, more passionate connection for both of you. Missionary position, a timeless favorite. Did you know that despite being considered a standard choice, the missionary position remains the most widely practiced worldwide? While it may seem simple, studies show that it continues to be the preferred option for many couples. But what makes it so universally loved? It's not just about comfort, there's much more to it. A recent survey conducted in the United Kingdom found that many women appreciate this position because it fosters a sense of closeness and emotional connection. The full-body contact allows for deep intimacy without feeling overwhelming, making the experience more enjoyable. Enhancing pleasure through small adjustments. One of the key reasons this position remains so popular is its potential for heightened stimulation. Experts suggest that slight adjustments, such as angling the hips, can significantly increase pleasure, ensuring a more fulfilling experience for both partners. Interestingly, studies indicate that some individuals who experience difficulty achieving peak pleasure may have unique anatomical variations that affect sensitivity and responsiveness. Understanding these differences can help couples explore new techniques that enhance satisfaction. As men reach their 50s and beyond, some may notice changes in their intimate experiences and wonder if their best years are behind them. However, this is far from true. With the right knowledge, approach, and a bit of creativity, intimacy can remain deeply fulfilling at any stage of life. By focusing on connection, exploration, and adaptability, couples can continue to nurture their bond and maintain an enriching relationship for years to come. The cougar position, the empowerment of confidence and connection. Did you know that some intimate moments allow women to take the lead, enhancing their experience while strengthening their connection with their partner? When both individuals feel comfortable and in sync, it opens the door to a more fulfilling and exciting experience. One approach that allows for greater freedom and control is when the woman sets the pace, adjusting movements to match her comfort and desires. This not only enhances enjoyment, but also fosters deeper emotional and physical bonding. Why confidence matters in intimacy. Feeling confident in the moment plays a huge role in satisfaction. Studies suggest that many women find greater enjoyment when they feel a strong emotional connection with their partner. This highlights how important trust and understanding are in building a truly rewarding experience. Interestingly, research suggests that many women prioritize emotional security and stability when choosing a long-term partner. This connection can significantly impact overall satisfaction in relationships. A small shift in positioning can make a big difference in increasing closeness and enjoyment. By adjusting angles and focus, couples can naturally enhance comfort while ensuring both partners feel valued and engaged. Another fascinating fact: certain natural reactions, such as subtle body language cues, can reveal deeper levels of attraction. Small gestures, like mirroring a partner's movements or making prolonged eye contact, often indicate a deeper connection. Many individuals are drawn to partners who exude confidence and warmth. Subtle cues, such as tone of voice, facial expressions, and eye contact, can significantly impact attraction and deepen emotional bonds. Additionally, research suggests that people who maintain a consistent level of connection and shared experiences tend to feel more fulfilled in their relationships. Whether through deep conversations, shared activities, or simply spending quality time together, nurturing a strong bond plays a key role in long-term satisfaction. At the core of any great relationship is communication, trust, and mutual appreciation. Understanding each other's needs, desires, and comfort levels creates a foundation for an enriching and rewarding connection. Whether you're in a new relationship or strengthening an existing one, focusing on emotional and physical well-being will always lead to a more meaningful bond. The key is to stay open, explore together, and always prioritize mutual respect and enjoyment. Understanding your partner's emotional depth, a path to stronger bonds. Did you know that truly understanding your partner's emotions and vulnerabilities can strengthen your relationship and deepen your connection? Recognizing and respecting these aspects of intimacy creates an environment where both partners feel valued, leading to a more fulfilling and meaningful bond. In life, challenges are inevitable, but those with a resilient spirit rise above them. Just as we cultivate discipline and mental fortitude in other areas of life, the same mindset can enhance our relationships. True strength comes not from avoiding difficulties, but from facing them with wisdom and unwavering commitment. A strong relationship thrives on understanding, communication, and trust. Here's a surprising fact that might completely shift the way you understand attraction. Nearly 9 out of 10 women, almost 85%, don't feel true arousal until a very specific trigger takes place first. And here's the twist: it's not what most men assume. Many guys believe attraction works the same for everyone, but that's far from reality. Have you ever wondered why some nights seem charged with energy and connection, while on other nights, even with women who appear interested, things just never take off? What if the secret isn't about saying the right lines or looking a certain way, but about unlocking the psychology behind desire itself? That's when I came across the research, the psychology, the science that finally explained how female arousal truly works. Suddenly, everything made sense. In today's video, I'll walk you through the 5 stages that lead to genuine female arousal, a process that most men overlook. This isn't casual chatter or guesswork. It's grounded in psychology and scientific studies. By the end, you'll see how understanding this can completely change the way you build deeper connections. Let's get started. 1. Establishing trust and comfort before anything else. Here's what most guys don't understand about female arousal. It starts in the mind, not the body. Before any woman can truly let herself feel attracted to you, her brain needs to answer one crucial question: am I safe with this person? This isn't only about physical safety, although that's certainly part of the equation. It's about something much deeper: emotional safety, psychological safety, and that subconscious calculation every woman makes about whether you're someone she can truly trust and open up to. From an evolutionary standpoint, this makes perfect sense. For countless generations, women who misjudged a partner's character often faced real and lasting consequences. Those survival instincts didn't simply vanish with modern life. They remain deeply wired into human psychology today. What if the key to attraction isn't just how you look or what you say, but how safe she feels when she's around you? So, what does emotional safety actually look like in everyday life? It's reflected in how you respect her boundaries. It's whether you genuinely listen when she speaks, or just pause until it's your turn to respond. It's in your reaction when she says no to something minor, because in her subconscious, there's always an ongoing test. If I say no to this small thing, will he accept it with respect, or will he push, manipulate, or respond with frustration? Emotional safety. I learned this lesson the hard way, with a woman I was dating a few years back. We had great chemistry, amazing conversations, but every time things started getting more intimate, she'd pull back. I was frustrated, confused, until she finally explained it to me. "You interrupt me constantly," she said. "You dismiss my opinions about movies, restaurants, even small things. How am I supposed to feel safe being vulnerable with you when you don't even respect my thoughts about dinner?" It was a wake-up call. I realized I was trying to build physical intimacy without establishing emotional safety first. It's like trying to build a house without laying the foundation. It might look good on the surface, but it's fundamentally unstable. Emotional safety is built through consistency. It's about proving, through your actions over time, that you're someone who respects her autonomy, someone who values her thoughts and feelings, someone who won't punish her for being honest or setting boundaries. This means listening actively to what she's saying, really listening, not just planning your next comment. It means asking for her opinions and genuinely considering them. It means gracefully accepting when she says no to anything from dinner plans to physical advances without making her feel guilty or wrong. 2. Mindful engagement. Once emotional safety is established, the next crucial element is mental stimulation. Here's something most people never realize. For the majority of women, arousal begins in the mind long before it shows up in the body. Studies repeatedly confirm that women's patterns of arousal are fundamentally different from men's. While many men experience arousal as a fairly direct physical reaction, women's responses are far more layered, shaped by psychological, emotional, and even social factors all interacting together. If you can spark her mind, you've already taken the first step towards sparking attraction. Now, mental stimulation doesn't mean you need to quote philosophers or discuss quantum physics on every date. What it really means is engaging her in ways that stir curiosity, bring laughter, spark wonder, and make her feel that her intelligence is respected and valued. I once went out with an incredibly sharp woman who worked in marketing. During our first few dates, I kept trying too hard to impress her, sharing stories about my career, my successes, and my strong opinions on nearly every subject. The conversations felt heavy, one-sided, and ultimately flat. She was kind, but I could sense she wasn't genuinely drawn in. Then one night, instead of talking about myself, I started asking her about her work. Really asking, not just, "How was your day?" but, "What's the most challenging project you're working on right now? What makes it complicated? How are you approaching the solution?" Her entire demeanor changed. She became animated, passionate, engaged. She started sharing not just what she did, but how she thought about problems, what excited her about her field, what frustrated her about industry trends. That's when I understood. Mental stimulation isn't about showing how smart you are. It's about recognizing and engaging with how smart she is. Mental stimulation comes through several channels. Intellectual curiosity is huge. Asking questions that make her think, sharing ideas that challenge her perspective, engaging with topics she's passionate about. But it's not just about serious topics. Playful banter, clever humor, unexpected observations about everyday situations, all of these engage her mind in ways that create excitement. Emotional intelligence is another crucial piece of the puzzle. When you can look beyond the surface of her words, notice her emotional state, and respond with empathy and genuine understanding, you're providing mental stimulation in one of the most powerful ways. It shows that you're capable of navigating the complexity of human emotions, and that's something most women find deeply attractive. It's not just what you say that matters, it's how well you understand what she really feels. Another factor is mystery and unpredictability. And to be clear, this isn't about manipulation or playing games. It's about genuine unpredictability, the kind where your thoughts, perspectives, and reactions continue to surprise her in authentic ways. When a woman feels there are always new sides of you to discover, her curiosity stays alive. That sense of ongoing discovery keeps her mind engaged, builds anticipation, and naturally creates the kind of tension that fuels attraction. 3. Creating intrigue and suspense that keeps her emotionally invested. Here's where most guys get it completely wrong. They think arousal is about moving as quickly as possible toward physical intimacy, but for most women, arousal is actually about the journey, not the destination. It's about anticipation, build-up, and delicious tension that develops over time. Think about your favorite movie. Is the best part the final scene, or the building suspense that makes the climax so satisfying? Female arousal works similarly. It's often more about the anticipation than the actual physical moment. This is why rushed physical advances so often kill the mood. Even with women who are genuinely interested, you're robbing her of the anticipation phase that's actually crucial to her arousal process. I learned this from a woman I dated who was incredibly direct about what she wanted. "Slow down," she told me one night. "You're rushing towards something I'm not ready for yet. And ironically, that makes me less likely to want it. Let me want it first." That phrase changed everything for me. Let me want it first. Anticipation is one of the most powerful forces in attraction, and it's built through several subtle mechanisms. Physical closeness without rushing into gratification is a big one. Sitting just near enough that you're almost touching, but not quite. Holding eye contact a little longer than usual. Gentle, casual touches that signal warmth without pressure. A hand resting lightly on her arm during conversation, fingers brushing briefly as you pass her something, or guiding her with a soft touch on the back as you walk through a door. Psychologists call this arousal tension, that intriguing sense of wanting something just out of reach. For many women, this tension isn't just exciting, it's an essential part of the process. It's not about doing more, it's about leaving just enough unsaid and undone to let the mind fill in the gaps. Verbal anticipation plays an equally important role. This is the art of suggestion without crossing into explicitness. Thoughtful comments that paint a picture while staying respectful, compliments that spark intrigue instead of being too direct. For instance, saying, "You have the most distracting smile," creates far more anticipation than simply stating, "You're attractive." One draws her in, the other ends the conversation. And then there's the element of time. Not just the moments within a single evening, but the continuity across days and weeks. The woman who looks forward to seeing you again because your last conversation left her curious. The gradual excitement that builds between text exchanges. The way attraction can actually grow stronger between dates, when both of you are thinking about the connection and replaying past moments in your minds. 4. Deepening emotional bonds. Physical attraction might get someone's attention, but emotional connection is what transforms simple interest into genuine arousal. This is perhaps the most misunderstood aspect of female sexuality. The crucial role that emotional intimacy plays in physical desire. For most women, arousal isn't just a physical response, it's an emotional experience. The more emotionally connected she feels to you, the more her body responds to your physical presence. This is why women often report that sex with someone they have deep emotional connection with is exponentially more satisfying than casual encounters, even when the physical technique is similar. Emotional connection is built through vulnerability, both yours and hers. It's about sharing parts of yourself that you don't show to everyone, and creating space for her to do the same. This mutual vulnerability creates a unique bond that enhances every other aspect of attraction. I remember a relationship where I initially tried to maintain a cool exterior, sharing only my strengths and successes. The woman I was dating was clearly interested, but something was missing. Our physical chemistry felt surface level, almost mechanical. Everything shifted the night I decided to share something real, a career setback that had shaken my confidence. I worried it might come across as weakness, but instead she met me with empathy and opened up about her own uncertainties regarding the future. That single exchange created an emotional intimacy that completely reshaped the dynamic between us. Emotional connection is built on a few essential foundations. The first is empathy, the ability to recognize and respond to her feelings with genuine care without rushing to fix or dismiss them. When a woman feels deeply understood, when she senses that you see and value the full complexity of who she is, the connection moves to a whole new level. It's not always about having the perfect answers. It's about creating the space where she feels safe enough to be herself. Active listening is another powerful element. This means going beyond just hearing her words. It's about tuning into the emotions behind them. It's asking thoughtful follow-up questions that show you're invested in what she's sharing. It's remembering the small details from earlier conversations and bringing them up later. These simple actions signal something profound, that she matters enough for you to truly pay attention to her inner world. 5. The power of physical chemistry. Only after emotional safety, mental stimulation, anticipation, and emotional connection are firmly in place does physical attraction become the catalyst that turns all that built-up energy into genuine arousal. This is the final piece of the puzzle, but it only falls into place when the foundation has already been laid. At this stage, physical attraction isn't just about appearance or technique. It's about presence, energy, and confidence. It's about how naturally you respond to the chemistry that's already there. Ultimately, it's about becoming someone whose touch feels magnetic, because of everything that's been built leading up to that moment. Physical attraction is the spark, but connection is the fuel that makes the spark last. The biggest mistake many men make is starting with physical attraction, assuming everything else will simply follow. But research shows that for most women, the process works in the opposite direction. Emotional and mental connection amplify physical attraction, not the other way around. I learned this from a woman who explained it perfectly. "There are lots of attractive men," she said, "but there are very few men who can make me feel safe, understood, excited, and desired, all at the same time. When someone can do all of that, they become irresistible." At this stage, physical attraction is less about looks and more about presence and awareness. It's about being comfortable in your own skin while staying attuned to hers. True physical chemistry isn't a performance. It's a conversation, two people responding to one another in a way that feels natural and effortless. A simple touch takes on deeper meaning when it's grounded in trust. Eye contact feels entirely different when emotional intimacy has already been shared. Even standing close carries a charge when anticipation has been properly built. Physical attraction becomes powerful not because it stands alone, but because it rests on everything that came before it. The physical component also means paying attention to her unique responses and preferences. Every woman is different. What excites one person may not resonate with another. The real key is attentiveness, listening, communicating, and adjusting based on her reactions rather than following a rigid script. Energy and confidence are crucial as well. When a woman feels emotionally safe, mentally engaged, anticipation has been built, and emotional connection is strong, what she craves is your steady presence and authentic confidence. Not arrogance, not pressure, just genuine comfort with yourself and the moment you're sharing together. Many women describe their most powerful experiences of arousal happening when all 5 elements are in play. Emotional safety, mental stimulation, anticipation, emotional connection, and finally, physical attraction acting as the spark that brings it all to life. So there it is, the 5-stage process that unlocks genuine female arousal. When you focus on building each layer, you're not just creating attraction, you're creating a connection that feels real, lasting, and deeply fulfilling for both of you. Here's what most guys get wrong. They try to skip straight to stage 5 and wonder why it doesn't work. But arousal isn't a light switch you can flip. It's a process that unfolds when the conditions are right. The 85% statistic I mentioned at the beginning comes from research showing that most women need multiple psychological and emotional conditions to be met before they can experience genuine arousal. It's not about being difficult or complicated, it's about how female sexuality actually works. Understanding this 5-stage process changes everything. It helps you become not only a more attractive man, but also a better partner, someone capable of building genuine connection rather than just going through the motions. When you master connection, attraction stops being accidental and starts becoming something you can create naturally. If this video gave you a new perspective, make sure to hit that subscribe button and share your thoughts in the comments. Have you noticed these stages in your own relationships? Which part of the process surprised you the most? I'd love to hear your experiences. And always remember, authentic attraction isn't about tricks or quick techniques. It's about understanding, respecting, and engaging with the rich, complex reality of human connection. The Apostle Paul, recognized as one of the most influential spiritual voices in all of history, once wrote these raw and revealing words, I do not understand what I do, for what I want to do, I do not do, but what I hate, I do. Does that sound strangely familiar to you? If you've ever felt trapped in that very same inner conflict, know this: you are far from being alone. What if the very struggle you're ashamed of is actually a sign that God has set you apart for something extraordinary? Today we're going to uncover a powerful truth that most discussions on this topic completely miss. Your battle with lust is not always proof of spiritual failure. In fact, it could be strong evidence of God's unique and extraordinary purpose for your life. And I promise, by the end of this video, the way you see your struggle will change in a deeply life-transforming way. Here's the part that so many people overlook. Throughout the entire Bible, there's a striking and consistent pattern. Those whom God handpicked for great and meaningful destinies often faced equally great temptations. David, famously described as a man after God's own heart, wrestled with lust when he fell into sin with Bathsheba. Joseph, chosen to preserve entire nations, had to endure and resist the relentless advances of Potiphar's wife. Samson, blessed with incredible divine strength, continually drifted toward relationships that pulled him away from God's calling. So here's the question worth asking. What if the very place where you feel the fiercest temptation is actually the exact area where your greatest calling is waiting to unfold? And here's where most people completely miss the bigger picture. These weren't just random moral failings or isolated mistakes. There is a deeper spiritual principle at work here, one that is still active and unfolding in your life today. Whenever someone is chosen and marked by God for significant world-shaping influence, the enemy does not take it lightly. He doesn't launch casual attacks. He strikes with precision, aiming for the most strategic target. He aims directly at the very core of your calling. What if the intensity of your battles is the strongest evidence that you carry a destiny too powerful for the enemy to ignore? Think about it this way. If you were leading an army into battle, would you scatter your strikes aimlessly? Or would you channel all your firepower toward the one weak point that could cause the greatest disruption to your opponent's mission? That's exactly why the weight of your struggle with lust could be directly proportional to the size of your God-given destiny and how much of a threat your purpose truly is to the kingdom of darkness. Now let me share something revolutionary, something that sets this video apart from nearly every other message you've heard on this subject. In 2 Corinthians 12:7-9, Paul reveals that he carried what he called a thorn in the flesh, a persistent struggle that remained even after his desperate prayers for relief. Therefore, in order to keep me from becoming conceited, I was given a thorn in my flesh. 3 times I pleaded with the Lord to take it away from me. But he said to me, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Biblical scholars have debated for centuries what exactly Paul's thorn might have been. Some argue it was a physical illness, while others believe it was an ongoing spiritual temptation. But here's the key detail. God chose not to remove it. Instead, he revealed that this constant struggle served a divine purpose, keeping Paul humble and fully reliant on God's grace rather than his own strength. In the same way, your ongoing struggle with lust may be serving a deeper purpose in your life. Not because God creates temptation, but because he is able to take even our battles and use them as tools to shape us, strengthen us, and prepare us for his greater plan. Could it be that the very thing you wish would disappear is actually the tool God is using to prepare you for the impact you were born to make? This isn't just abstract spiritual theory, it's a life-altering truth that completely reshapes how you view your struggle. Throughout history, those who left the deepest spiritual impact also carried some of the fiercest internal battles. St. Augustine once prayed, "Lord, make me pure, but not yet," as he wrestled with temptation in his youth. Yet he later became one of Christianity's most influential theologians. C.S. Lewis admitted he battled what he called a zoo of lusts, before rising as one of the greatest Christian voices of the 20th century. Even Mother Teresa, while serving the poorest of the poor, confessed to seasons of intense spiritual darkness and doubt. What set these spiritual giants apart was never the absence of struggle. It was how they chose to respond to it. And this is where things become practical for you, because recognizing you may be chosen is only the beginning. The way you respond to that calling is what will ultimately define your journey. So if your struggle with lust truly connects to God's purpose for your life, here are 4 powerful responses that distinguish the merely called from the truly chosen. Number 1, weaponize your weakness. This is the moment where your story can take a completely different direction from those who are simply trapped in the same cycle of lust. In 2 Corinthians 1:4, we're reminded, God comforts us in all our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves receive from God. What if the very thing that once brought you shame becomes the exact testimony that sets someone else free? Your battle with lust is not only a private struggle, it's preparation and training ground for your ministry. The very wounds that once hurt you the most can become sacred places of healing for others who are walking through the same fire. Number 2, transform shame into sacred awareness. Most messages on this topic will tell you to fight shame with willpower alone, but there is a far more powerful and lasting approach, viewing your struggle as God's personal invitation into deeper dependence on Him. Paul didn't simply put up with his weakness. He went so far as to boast about it, declaring, "When I am weak, then I am strong." Could it be that the very weakness you've been running from is actually the doorway through which God's strength flows? Here's why this matters. Paul understood that his weakness created room for God's power to be revealed, and in the same way, your awareness of your struggle with lust can become the very anchor that keeps you close to God, cultivating a humility and reliance that He can use with extraordinary impact. Number 3, recognize the pattern of targeted attacks. When temptation begins to intensify, don't just see it as a random weakness. Instead, pause and ask yourself, what godly purpose might be under attack right now? Could it be your leadership potential, your future marriage and family legacy, or perhaps your God-given ability to minister to others with authenticity and power? What if the battle you're fighting today is simply proof that the enemy sees the threat of who you could become tomorrow? James 1:2-4 challenges us to consider it pure joy whenever you face trials of many kinds. Not because the trials themselves are pleasant, but because they are producing perseverance, an inner strength that grows into spiritual maturity and equips you for greater influence. Number 4, embrace grace-powered discipline. This is the area where many spiritual teachings tend to fall short. Some emphasize grace without discipline, while others focus on discipline without grace. But the truth is, you need both working together. 1 Corinthians 15:10 captures this balance beautifully. By the grace of God, I am what I am, and His grace to me was not without effect. No, I worked harder than all of them, yet not I, but the grace of God that was with me. What if real freedom isn't found in choosing between grace and discipline, but in learning how the two work together? This means you don't overcome lust through sheer willpower alone. Instead, you step into practices fueled and sustained by God's grace. Accountability, meditation on Scripture, serving others, and establishing wise strategic boundaries that guard your heart. And here's the key. When you stumble but still return to God's presence again and again, you are not failing. You are showing the resilient faith of someone truly chosen by God. Now let's bring this home with a perspective shift that can change everything. Most Christians view lust as proof that they are drifting away from God. But what if your sharpened awareness of this battle is actually the clearest evidence that you are moving closer to Him? Romans 8:28-29 gives us this incredible promise. In all things, God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose, with the ultimate goal being conformity to Christ's image. Your struggle with lust is not derailing God's plan for your life. In fact, it may be central to how he is shaping you for that very plan. When David fell with Bathsheba, God did not discard him. Instead, that failure became the foundation for Psalm 51, one of the most heartfelt prayers of repentance ever written, a prayer that has comforted and guided millions of believers for generations. This doesn't mean we minimize or embrace sin. Rather, it means we embrace God's redemptive power, a power so much greater than our failures. The real question is not whether you will struggle. The real question is whether you will let that struggle press you deeper into God's grace and dependence on him. What if the very thing you thought disqualified you is the same thing God intends to use to qualify you for greater purpose? So if you're watching this right now and wrestling under the weight of lust, hear this clearly. Your struggle does not disqualify you from God's calling. Quite the opposite. It may be the clearest sign that you are being shaped, refined, and prepared for something far greater than you can even imagine. Remember this: the enemy never wastes his fiercest attacks on people who pose no threat to his kingdom. Your calling isn't happening in spite of your battles. It's being forged right in the very midst of them. And now, here's something that almost no other video on this subject will ever ask of you. But I believe it's crucial for your breakthrough. Instead of only praying, "God, take this away," I want you to add something deeper this week. Pray with intention and purpose. God, help me understand the purpose behind this struggle. Show me how you want to take even this part of my story and use it for your glory. But don't stop there. Here's your next step. Pray and then listen. Write down anything God impresses on your heart. Then take a moment to share one insight, one reflection, or one breakthrough in the comments below. You never know. Your honesty might be the exact lifeline someone else has been desperately waiting for. What if the very battle you've been hiding could become the bridge that helps someone else find freedom? Sometimes your greatest struggle is actually the clearest evidence that you've been chosen for a higher assignment. And if this fresh perspective has given you hope or clarity, don't forget to subscribe and tap that notification bell. Remember this: where you see only weakness, God sees extraordinary potential. Where you feel overwhelmed by failure, he sees the faithfulness of your return. And where you feel broken in your struggle, he may be shaping you for something extraordinary that only you can fulfill. Thank you so much for watching. Your journey matters deeply, and so do you.